through it.
Yeah, well, it's time to talk about it now because we had the opportunity to look at the video from Mr. Jilani, Mudathir Jilani, right?
Yeah, you was able to watch it.
Well, I actually watched it a couple of times. It was one of R2F channels. I think better discovery. I think it was a brightened moment for them.
Yeah.
I do want to point out a few things. I feel bad because the truth came out and it's substantiated. And in all fairness, I'm saddened because of the fact that it was actually worse than we had guesstimated it before.
Exactly.
That's why it was even worse. This man has not had any control. He's been used since 2008. He was being used from 2000 from 2008. He was being used. His name was being used. He was showing up for the occasions. But in actuality, all of the finances, all of the policies, all of the infrastructure was taken over by the Adams family. The Adams family. And if you remember back in the 70s, you actually had the Adams family. If you look it up, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. It's called the Adams family. That's number one. Number two, I think that in terms of the Quranic Revolution Declaration of 2021, it definitely did a very good job, and we want to thank everyone who partook in the probes of, the Jilanislam TMOA dating back to 1999. Because to say that this is your spiritual leader, and to actually live and believe that, it automatically places you in the realm of the unknown, uncertain, unworthy. That's what it does. Unknown, meaning nobody knew where it came from. When he said, when you believe your spiritual leader, learn from dreams through Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, when you believe that he is a spark of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's light, when you believe that he has the ability to know everyone, all of his talibs, you believe that he has the ability to control all of the mujahideen.
And his son, he even said that he's...
But the problem is that this is what you've been asserting to him. He turns into a white hawk, and he comes and he flies over at night.
He knows everybody.
You've been asserting all of these things to him.
Right.
Yet you cannot find it in the Quran, and what's clear is that he did not even give it to his son.
He didn't even know what the six... Oh my God, he didn't even know what the six...
He could not have been any more spiritual than any other parent who tells their child to go study Quran and read translation. This is all he gave his child. Now, to understand if that is spiritual or not, why don't you try it one day? If you don't have any children, imagine you do have children, and all you tell them to do is go read Quran in translation. Nothing about the Sultan, nothing about the dream, nothing about the Lahutul Mahut, nothing about zikr, nothing about leaving your body spiritually, none of that.
So you know what that tells me? His intention was to slave us.
What? But see, the problem is that the Jilanislam would have been a completely different ball game if every 5 years we called for accountability.
Yeah.
But no one decided that they would come forth. I have a brother, I have him on the record. He admits to the fact of two things. Number one, when they showed the miracle they claim was the greatest miracle of mankind, they showed that miracle. He admits to the fact that he was actually there, and because everybody else was saying they saw something, he went along with it too. He's admitting to that.
Like the majority of people.
He's also admitting, this is a more important point, he's also admitting that although outwardly, openly, he says good things about the Jamaat, but secretly, he knows that it encourages his children to be hostile towards him. See, you got to understand something. We are like our children. We really are like our children. Our children take after us. At some point in time, there's going to be a disagreement, a rift between us and our offspring. If our offspring feel like they can take over the authority that is above us, for example, in this case, it's the administration of the Jamaat, then that means they can outdo their parents, which is what happens. Go to a couple of retreats, act as if you've seen all the miracles, and there you have it. But we want to get to the point because he made a very important, when he said, again, my father would just tell me to go read Quran in translation. And this is the spiritual leader of my daughter, the Gid in the other Giddo. From you, meaning you are the adults, you are the adult children today, to the youngest one who's not even 2 years old. Not a single one of you can say your father, yours truly, did not teach you Quran, did not teach you Jalla Jalaluhu's word. This is just the tip of the iceberg. By Allah's means, just the tip of the iceberg. What is more spiritual than the word of Allah? Now tell me. Now tell me. He told his child to go read Quran in translation. He could not bother to teach him, and we know now why, because we have him on video. We know he couldn't teach himself properly. He was self-taught. As his son said,
he couldn't teach him to read or pronounce the word.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. Now, you tell me that this is your spiritual leader. In what way? Explain now. He's gone now. How is he your spiritual leader? How? Explain the one who you actually have just this illusion that he knows you. You have a delusion that he knows everything about you.
I have never even heard this man recite the Holy Quran.
Listen, the point that I want to make is that his son admitted that he was self-taught. He admitted to him just being like a regular person in the Navy or whatever. He never did really get any graduation from anything. He never did. I mean, that part right there kind of got me. It got me, but it didn't. Because again, when you look at the publications where he just cut and paste and went along, I mean, that makes perfect sense if you never went as far as a master's. I mean, unfortunately, I'm just saying, I mean, I get it. I mean, that's why I said it's worse than I had perceived. But the problem, the main thing is that when you have the child going against the parent, or the parent going against the child, or the sibling going against one another, you have the community at each other. You have my daughter refusing to give or return salams to her father. You have the other kiddo going out and finding some way she can get married without her father's consent, and she doesn't care. When you have the mother encouraging, when you have the wife undermining, okay? All because of who? Murshid Khan.